Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
And he hits the end of the road. The man who led police on this wild chase through Detroit going to learn his lesson the hard way now. Hank?
We're with Detroit's mayor. He's talking about the big battle to lower car insurance rates here in Detroit and across the state. What can be done now?
And developing right now, 3 teens criminally charged in a hazing incident at Dearborn-Fordson High School.
We're going to start, though, here at 5 with breaking news. Sources are confirming to Local 4 one of the women wanted in connection with the shooting death of an O'Reilly Auto Parts store manager is at this hour in police custody. And they also say they do believe that the woman they've arrested was indeed the shooter. That's the word coming late this afternoon. We'll stay on the story. New information to you just as soon as it comes into our newsroom, so stay tuned.
Our other top story tonight, hazing allegations at Dearborn-Fordson High School. And now, Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy is pressing charges in this case.
Sean Lay live in Dearborn tonight with the newest information that's just been revealed in this case today. Sean?
And Devin, at first, the district called this a case of hazing. Students feared it was a case of possible sexual assault. Well, tonight, the county prosecutor says it's assault and battery, and 3 kids have now been charged.
Your children have your name.
Fordson students were outraged over the alleged attack of a 13-year-old freshman and furious that Dearborn schools called the incident hazing. Now the Wayne County prosecutor is calling what happened in the football locker room a criminal case of assault and battery, not hazing at all.
They're just trying to sweep it under the rug, and that's wrong.
Prosecutors charging 3 sophomore JV football players, alleging that on October 9th, the 3 assaulted a freshman boy in the locker room. A spokesperson for the prosecutor saying, quote, during the assault, it is alleged that one of the sophomores exposed himself to the victim.
It's shocking for that person. You know, this guy's going to have to live through that for the rest of his life.
The district immediately removed the 3 accused from school, and Dearborn police launched an investigation. Superintendent Dr. Glenn Maleko isn't talking about the charges today, but in a statement says all involved are minors and their identities must be protected, saying that not commenting today, quote, is in no way intended to be interpreted as defending, minimizing, or attempting to hide the actions of the students involved. Dearborn attorney Majid Mogni has been following the case closely.
It appears that the charges are assault and battery, which is an unlawful touching and unwanted touching by another individual. Those kind of charges carry as adults up to 90 days in jail. In this particular case, these are juveniles. The most they'll probably get is detention.
So back here live, all 3 charged today in juvenile court. All 3 are from Dearborn. They'll head back to court for a pretrial conference that'll happen on November 20th, Devin.
What are the members of the football team, though, saying, Sean?
Spoke to one right after school today. You know, Fordson, proud legacy of football here and scholastics, of course. And they have a big game tonight against Cass Tech. But he says all that put aside, it's been devastating for that, proud football program they have here. He says he's never heard of anything like this happening before as long as he's been here.
All right, Sean. And as you see behind Sean, a clear sky. Remember what that looked like?
Nice.
The sun has been shining today, and yet, believe it or not, a threat of severe weather this weekend.
So let's send it over to Andrew. He's in for Ben tonight. So what's in store and what's the timing?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to start off with the good news. Timing is for this evening, it remains dry. The timing on those thunderstorms mainly confined to Sunday, but still some showers in between. Let's talk about the temperatures outside right now. We have clear skies out there, as Devin mentioned. It's mostly partly cloudy also, but we're looking at temperatures now retreating into the 40s. So as you head out this evening, whether it's see some pro basketball here in downtown Detroit, going out for dinner or show, or just an evening stroll, make sure you grab your jackets. It's been in the 40s since 4 p.m. You know that from watching First at 4. 45 right now in Lapeer, while it's now 49 degrees, down from the 50s over at Metro Airport. You can see precipitation setting up to our west, where it's cold enough. Snow in the Twin Cities, but don't worry, no snow around here. It's going to be too warm this weekend. Right now, temperatures are way above freezing, but grab your jackets. It's 45 in Lapeer. Over in Ann Arbor in our west zone, 49 degrees. We'll see temperatures go into the middle 40s in the next few hours, and it remains dry for this evening and tonight. We'll talk more about those showers for Saturday and storminess for the weekend coming up in just minutes.
All right, thank you, Andrew. It is the end of the road for this guy who led police on a wild chase that ended in spectacular fashion right in the middle of I-75 in southwest Detroit. Today, a judge handed down her sentence in the case. Jason Colthorpe live this evening. And Jason, he faced a slew of charges.
And Karen, for those of us who are watching this go down live on clickondetroit.com from Sky 4, so many of us remember thinking, boy, is this guy going to be in some trouble. And today he answered that for that chase that ended right here on I-75. You remember getting out of that vehicle and hopping over the median and onto another car. And when you hear what he had to say, it didn't offer much after what you saw on tape. It was one of the more wild police chases anyone had seen. A suspect hitting numerous freeways, and then finally, as police closed in on I-75 South near Clark, Dearborn Sherrard jumps out of his car, hops over the median with cars coming at him on the freeway on I-75 and the police giving chase. He jumps on the roof of another vehicle before police finally are able to take him down. Today in court, he was sentenced for that whole sequence of events, fleeing and eluding, resisting, and possession of cocaine and marijuana.
I would like to say I apologize to the officers and my family for putting myself in danger and putting them in danger.
After his brief apology, Sherrard was sentenced to a minimum of 9 months to 20 years on all those charges. Police say they were chasing Sherrard because he was a suspect in the shooting of a woman earlier that day in southwest Detroit, a woman who later died. And that investigation still continues, so this might not be the last time we hear from Sherrard. Could be facing much more serious consequences in that murder. Reporting live, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Jason. Now to one of our most clicked stories all day long on clickondetroit.com. Michigan State Police rolling out roadside drug testing in 5 different counties.
Let's bring in our Coco McAvoy, who has been looking into this. And Coco, there's a lot of confusion about just what this involves.
Yes, Devin and Karen, a lot of people want to know what this all means. Will they be pulled over randomly? Can they refuse the test? We took those questions to the Michigan State Police Department for clarification. The Michigan State Police Department is unveiling a roadside drug testing pilot program, and it's already getting a lot of reaction.
And I think that it's just unnecessary.
I do feel like it's an invasion of privacy.
So why now? MSP Public Information Officer Michael Shaw says,
we're seeing a large uptick in driving under the influence of narcotics, and this is both prescription drugs, opioids, as well as marijuana and some of the illegal drugs as well.
That uptick was a 32% increase in deadly drug-related crashes last year compared to 2015.
They wanted to establish another way of having probable cause in order to determine if somebody's under the influence of these narcotics.
The way the program works is similar to a breathalyzer or PBT.
That's where people think that, we're just going to walk up to you, we're going to give you the little swab, and if it tests positive, that you're going to get arrested for driving under the influence. And that's not the case. There has to be some other factors in there, such as swerving, not turning your lights, running into another car, being involved in a fatal crash.
Shaw says if the program is successful, it may expand to other counties in the state. And ultimately,
you still have to go to court. You still have to appear in front of a jury of your peers that would determine your guilt or innocence. This is just another tool in our toolbox to make Michigan safer.
And Washtenaw County is one of the counties participating in the pilot program. The Sheriff's Department did release a statement saying they've seen an increase in the county with drug-related traffic crashes, and they say this will be an efficient way to be able to determine if people are using drugs while driving. Back to you.
And Coco, what happens if a driver refuses the test?
So Michigan State Police says it's very similar to a breathalyzer, so you do have the right to refuse the test, but at that time you are subject to a civil infraction.
Yeah. All right, Coco. 2 Detroit police officers still in the hospital after being hit by a driver early this morning.
It happened around 3 a.m. on Detroit's east side, where the officers were on their way to a home invasion. They had both their lights and sirens on when allegedly a drunk driver ran through a stop sign, hitting them. The suspect is in custody, charged with an OWI, and the police officers involved only received minor injuries.
And on I-96 near Fullerton, a state trooper's car was struck by a driver early this morning. Luckily, the trooper was not in his car at the time. No alcohol involved, but the driver has been cited for failure to move over for an emergency vehicle. So no injuries, and all of the lanes of traffic have since reopened.
A body was found on Detroit's west side this morning. 2 police cars were at a house on Santa Barbara and Pembroke, less than a half a mile west of Livernois, between 7 and 8 Mile. They found a 53-year-old woman dead. They have not found a cause of death at this time.
Also on the city's west side, police have uncovered what they believe was a marijuana grow operation. This was the scene on Finkel Avenue near Myers Road. You see a big hole there in the side of the building and bags of marijuana plants being taken out. Unknown at this point how many plants have been confiscated, and we await word on arrests in connection with this. We'll continue to follow it. Police at Michigan State University stepping up security tonight.
New tonight, what the school is saying about an alleged sexual assault inside a dorm.
Also, the jobs are out there, but you do need to know where to look. Ahead at 5, we're revealing the most in-demand jobs in Metro Detroit. In fact, what's at the top of the list just might surprise you. Hank?
Almost everyone, including politicians, agree insurance rates are too high here in Detroit. Why then is it so hard to change the law? We're talking with Mayor Duggan.
New at 6.
A 62-year-old man found dead here in his Highland Park apartment. Police say this case is very suspicious. We are going to share some of the clues that they're finding with you on Local 4.
All right, Sean, also, is there room for another auto company here? At 6, the global manufacturing giant setting up shop in Metro Detroit and what that could mean for the local job market. That's at 6.
Mayor Duggan's big push to lower auto insurance rates failed to make it through the House in Lansing last night. Mayor
had been working to get support before the vote, but in the end, many lawmakers on both sides said the bill wasn't a good fit for Michiganders. Today, the mayor spoke out about the defeat and talked about what's next. Let's bring in our consumer investigator, Hank Winchester, along busy Woodward Avenue in Detroit. What'd the mayor have to say, Hank?
And Devin, Karen, one thing that everybody agrees on, the mayor obviously included, insurance rates are too high. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. This information from AAA, a 2016 Honda Accord driven in Detroit, that driver's going to pay roughly $7,415 a year. Now take a look at some of the lower rates. That same car driven by somebody living in Vermont, they'll only pay $1,000 a year. The difference? More than $6,000 to drive the same car here in the city of Detroit. It is clear change is needed, and the mayor says it's still coming. Auto insurance rates in Detroit, some of the highest in the country. And after last night's defeat in Lansing, don't expect a big break anytime soon.
Every month when I'm signing that check or making that payment to pay my insurance, I feel like it's not worth having a car.
It's a huge amount of money that I would much rather be using on other things.
Everyone agrees something needs to be done, but last night it didn't. Mayor Duggan was pushing a bill in Lansing, insurance reform. It failed to get the support needed. A crushing defeat.
The stumbling block was the amount of money being spent against us. You have people who are putting forward alternative proposals they know have no chance of passage.
Duggan's plan would have lowered rates and allowed drivers to choose one of 3 levels of injury protection. Those opposed said insurance companies could gain way too much control.
Last night was an all or nothing proposition, a whole bunch of reforms all into one bill.
The big question, now what?
All those people who voted no yesterday saying there's a better plan, now it's up to them to pass that better plan, because the reality was what we had yesterday was the one chance we had to get a bipartisan vote.
The mayor disappointed but not defeated. In fact, he says he is meeting with people tonight, having a working dinner, trying to figure out the plan moving forward. We're live here tonight in Detroit. Hank Winchester, back to you.
Well, Hank, when then might we see a new plan? Does the mayor have any guess on that?
Well, Devin, as you know, with politics, it's probably going to take a while. Nothing's going to happen this year. The hope is that possibly next summer, maybe next fall, another plan will come together. But he's waiting to see what the other side brings to the table first and then go from there.
So a lot of high premiums still to be paid between now and then, no doubt about it. All right, Hank.
Andrew joins us in a pretty gorgeous afternoon.
We've been waiting to see the blue sky and the sun for quite a while. It's
They're
nice
both
to
free.
see. Yeah, that's right.
Gotta love this dry weather. It continues through this evening. It's later this weekend, especially Saturday night, and especially during the day on Sunday, where we have the next chance of showers. So enjoy this dry weather while it lasts, but also take care out there because it does get chillier. We've seen temps go from the 50s down to the 40s, down to the 30s in many spots tonight. Just outside Detroit in our metro zone, Ferndale, Southfield, Troy, and also in Warren, temperatures down to around 35 to 38 degrees. So middle and upper 30s overnight tonight. Make sure those heaters are working once again. 49 currently with winds out of the north at around 9 miles per hour and a good looking shot of downtown Detroit. Speaking of which, Milwaukee Bucks in town taking on the Pistons later on this evening at 7 o'clock this evening over at LCA. Temperatures drop from about 50 degrees in the next hour or two down to the middle 40s after the game. So pick out your favorite Pistons jacket and hat so you can stay warm, but before and after the game for the ride home. And remember, daylight saving time comes to an end. That's right, daylight saving time without the S. Move the clocks back 1 hour Saturday night into Sunday. Also a great reminder, change the batteries in all the detectors you have. Smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. Might want to check on some time-sensitive accounts you might have as well. Temperatures in the 40s right now, north of 8 Mile, 44 for our friends in Lapeer. Holly, good evening. You've got 46 at this hour, while it's still in the slightly milder 50s for our friends in Monroe at 52 degrees, and still remaining dry as a bone with this area of high pressure. But to our west, we've got some showers that are brewing, along with this warm front. Now, overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, as you can see when you join me tomorrow morning on Local 4 News Today, we'll still have some sunshine for the first half of our Saturday. You have morning chores, you got Little League games to go to, you're all set. But by the middle and late afternoon, mainly around 4 or 5 o'clock and afterward, this warm front approaches. It gives us a chance of showers for Saturday late afternoon and into the evening hours. Then we're in this warm sector of air. But hold on, even though it gets warmer this weekend, we have a cold front that swings through on Sunday. That gives us the chance of showers and thunderstorms, and we're here draped in yellow here from the Severe Storms Office over in the Plains. That means there's a slight chance of strong to severe storms when that cold front arrives. This is mainly midday on Sunday and during the afternoon on Sunday. No guarantee, it could change, but I'll keep you covered all weekend long. And remember, you can always check the weather page of clickondetroit.com and download the Local Forecasters app. You can track any showers or thunderstorms and look at temperatures while you're on the go or even at home. 37 degrees overnight tonight, remaining dry. Beautiful moon will be out. We'll see winds shift and come out of the east at around 4 to 9 miles per hour. And sunset, ladies and gentlemen, is at 6:24 this evening. Temperatures tomorrow go from 30s into 40s to low 50s, and that's average for this time of year. But grab your umbrellas in the morning if you know you're going to be out all day long, because showers start to arrive by 3, 4 p.m. and afterward. It's key also for the college football games, both over in East Lansing and the one over at Michigan. We move the clocks back 1 hour from Saturday into Sunday, and Sunday we got to be on the lookout for showers and thunderstorms that could be heavy. But look how warm it's going to get. 49 in the morning and then 65 in the afternoon. After that, the cold front swings through, so we're looking at falling temperatures during the day on Monday through the low 50s. Then we go out to vote on Tuesday. Weather will help you out, ladies and gentlemen. Partly to mostly sunny skies. Sure, it'll be chillier, but just grab a jacket. You're all set to head to the polls. 47 on Tuesday, and we stay in the middle and upper 40s, but dry with sunshine coming back through much of the middle and end of next week.
What are you going to do with your extra hour?
Oh boy, sleep like everyone else.
Well, you've got your weekend schedule is really tough, so yeah, you no doubt about it will. Let's check in with Tracy Potts. Tracy.
President Trump leaves Washington with lots of questions behind about the Russia investigation and Democrats.
All right, Tracy, but first, schools put on lockdown after a police officer opens fire in the middle of the street. That's next.
The Local 4.
Across Michigan this Friday, stories from Lansing and in East Lansing on the campus of MSU.
But we want to start on the west side of the state in Matawan. And that is where state police say schools were on lockdown today after an officer-involved shooting. One suspect is in custody, and police are still searching for 2 others that ran away on foot. It happened near the intersection of Main Street and West McGillen Avenue, just a half mile from the Matawan School District. MSP said no officers were injured, no other information being released.
Moving to East Lansing at Michigan State, where a student was sexually assaulted in a dorm room. Happened around 10:30 last night inside Hubbard Hall. The victim reportedly knows the person who did it. MSU police are investigating and taking action to maintain the safety and security of the campus community, they tell us, but there's no other information on what happened just yet.
And in Lansing, the Michigan House voted to forgive extra responsibility fees levied on drivers for certain traffic infractions. This vote will also speed up the elimination of newly assessed fees. The main bill won approval yesterday, 103-5. Governor Snyder's office has said he has concerns about the budgetary impact of forgiving the debt, but is working with lawmakers and monitoring the various versions of the bills and associated costs.
New at 5:30.
New local cases of hepatitis A and the flu is picking up too. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Tonight at 5, see which illnesses are hitting hard near you.
It's arrived. Apple's much talked about new iPhone hit store shelves to cheers, but there was one thing that went very wrong.
You don't have to go very far to see one of these, a help wanted sign.
Employers need all these high-tech positions filled.
So what are the jobs most in demand and how much so? We'll let you know.
Halloween week. If you're wondering where the jobs are, we found them. A brand new report says there are plenty of people hiring in 5 key industries in southeast Michigan. At Top Star News tonight at 5:30, we in Metro Detroit have reached the flip side of the downturn.
Exactly. This year, Metro Detroit had more than 161,000 job openings posted, and employers can't find the people to fill them. So what are the in-demand jobs, and how do you get one? Business editor Rod Maloney has been taking a look at it. He joins us now live. Rod?
Yeah, hey, Devin, take a look behind me here. You can find one of these jobs on the open road, or the less than open road that we have out here right now. And it is the specific skills needed here are a problem. It's a skill gap, they call it, where the jobs that are open are being filled by people who don't really have the right skills, and the businesses need that to change. And so that's what's going on. And so the new study from the Workforce Intelligence Network tells us exactly where the skills gap is and also how they're trying to solve it. You don't have to go far to find one of these, a help wanted sign. Workforce Intelligence found the top 5 high demand jobs come with lots of published help wanted advertisements. In the second quarter, for instance, in Metro Detroit, nearly 10,000 registered nurse help wanted ads appeared in local listings. Right behind nurses were heavy and tractor trailer drivers with nearly 8,000 ads, software developers also in high demand with nearly 6,000 ads, and if you're a born salesperson, wholesale manufacturing and retail sales each had nearly 5,000 openings, more than 32,000 for the second quarter alone. We've been hearing about a shortage of nurses for more than a decade. One of the things holding back the graduation numbers is a lack of nursing teachers. But WIN Executive Director Michelle Economou-Urest says there's another reason: our aging population.
10,000 people turn the age of 60 every day through the year 2030. So I think that is predominantly why registered nurses are in such high demand, just the aging population.
This skills gap forced business to change its approach to get the skills it needs. It's offering the education through apprenticeships and other training.
A lot of individuals simply do not know that they can get paid to gain these skills and earn a great salary and have an employer pay for their 4-year degree.
Now, you don't need necessarily that 4-year degree. A lot of, say, computer and technical skills, even coding, does not require a 4-year degree, just some competency and the opportunity to get the training that is definitely needed. And one of the places that we're seeing there's a huge demand for the technical training is with the automated vehicle. In other words, the self-driving car. With all of the technology that's going into that, they need a lot of people who can go into that in order to make that industry thrive here in Metro Detroit. Back to you.
Well, Ron, all this talk then about this search for talent, if you want to get in on this career bonanza, what do you do at this point?
Well, you can go to clickondetroit.com, Devin, because we have linked there the study and all the information you need to connect yourself to all of this. And also the state of Michigan has a number of programs as well. You might want to check some of the websites there through Workforce as well.
A lot out there. All right, Rod. Now to other news today. Another request to move a trial date for Dr. Larry Nassar denied at a hearing in Lansing.
Lawyers put in yet another motion to adjourn the trial until 2018, but the judge said no. It was also ruled Nassar's prior convictions and the evidence that led to them cannot be used during his trial, saying the motion would unfairly prejudice the jury. She is, however, allowing prosecutors to call 6 additional accusers to testify. Nassar faces 22 sexual assault charges. That trial is set to start coming up next month. A military judge has made his decision in the sentencing of U.S. Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl. After pleading guilty last month to desertion and misbehavior before the enemy, a judge decided not to sentence Bergdahl to any jail time. Instead, his rank has been reduced to E1. He has to give $1,000 of his salary for the next 10 months as a fine, and he was also given a dishonorable discharge. Bergdahl's attorney sees this as a more than fair sentencing.
The dishonorable discharge is a lifetime stigma that deprives him of substantial benefits which he badly needs.
President Trump reacted to the sentence by tweeting, and this is a quote, "The decision on Sergeant Bergdahl is a complete and total disgrace to our country and to our military," end quote.
President now off on his 11-day Asia trip, leaving behind plenty of questions about the Russia investigation for one. Just days after his former campaign manager was indicted. Tracy Potts at the White House with more on why the president is now pointing the finger at Democrats. Tracy?
Hi, Devin. Good afternoon, everyone. There's a new book that's shaking things up here in Washington, taking a look at what may have happened during the Democratic primary. And that is what President Trump wants the FBI to focus on. President Trump off to Asia, frustrated with the Russia investigation.
A lot of people are disappointed in the Justice Department, including me.
The focus now, whether Attorney General Jeff Sessions lied to Congress when he denied knowing anything about Russia contacts during the campaign.
I have no knowledge of any such conversations by anyone connected to the Trump campaign.
Yet here he is with the president and advisor George Papadopoulos, now working with the FBI after pleading guilty. Papadopoulos says in this photo he offered to set up a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Sessions says he shut down that idea.
It was a very unimportant meeting, took place for a long time. Don't remember much about it.
President Trump wants the FBI instead to focus on Democrats after a new book by former chair Donna Brazile claims Hillary Clinton orchestrated a secret takeover of the party.
She basically bought the DNC and she stole the election from Bernie.
The Clinton campaign denies squeezing out opponent Bernie Sanders.
Look, I think the DNC should apologize to the millions and millions of people who put their heart and souls into the campaign on both sides.
I don't have a spare second to be thinking about comments that went on within the DNC.
Democrats in Congress are focused on stopping Republican tax reform. At least 5 Republicans are opposed. On Monday, lawmakers start taking a look at possible changes to the tax plan. At the White House, I'm Tracy Potts, Local 4.
All right, Tracy. Meanwhile, Twitter says they are implementing new controls after a rogue employee on his way out of the company deleted the president's Twitter account last night. The account was back up 11 minutes after it happened.
Over here with Andrew right now. And Andrew, this weekend we got a real threat of severe weather. It sounds like on Sunday especially.
Well, Sandra, you and I both have covered severe weather in our recent past and even farther back earlier this year. Many people might be used to severe storms in the summertime, but they can strike at any time. And this weekend we have at least a slight chance of it happening. Now, the good news is right now we're looking at dry conditions. Some nice high thin clouds overhead, and we're in for rain-free conditions as we go through this evening, including tonight. But as we go into the weekend, we have a couple of frontal systems. We have a warm front that brings scattered showers tomorrow afternoon, but then notice as the clock moves forward into Sunday, see these areas of yellow and orange setting up? It's part of a cold front, and out ahead of that cold front, that will be the spark for any shower or thunderstorm activity that arrives Sunday, especially midday through 4 o'clock in the afternoon up until the beginning of Sunday evening. And it could be strong enough where we have the slight chance of strong to severe storms here in Detroit and virtually all of southeast Michigan. You can see that shaded here in yellow. Same thing if you're doing some traveling this weekend out toward Grand Rapids or out to the Kalamazoo area, or in northern portions of Indiana, northern portions of Ohio, even a greater chance of strong to severe storms. Now, it's not guaranteed, but you still want to stay focused on how you plan your weekend. If you want the driest conditions, check out tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, and also Saturday midday. By Saturday afternoon, it gets a little bit wet, but again, a lot wetter for your plans if it's on Sunday. Any of those severe storms strike or any strong storms start to develop, I'll keep you covered, but make sure you plan on some indoor activities for our second half of the weekend. We'll talk more about this once again and your full 7-day forecast in just minutes.
All right, Andrew. Fallen Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein and Academy Award-winning actor Kevin Spacey both facing fresh new allegations, and one against Weinstein could result now in criminal charges.
On Thursday, Boardwalk Empire actress Paz de la Huerta said that Weinstein raped her twice. She said it happened back in 2010. La Huerta alleges that both incidents happened inside her apartment.
And at least 8 employees on Netflix House of Cards accuse Spacey of sexual harassment, saying he created a toxic work environment, and one alleges the actor sexually assaulted him.
Well, this is a big day. The highly anticipated iPhone 10 right here launches today, and despite the $1,000 starting price, it is selling out really, really fast.
And it's right here, and you'll note, look, no home button, so you kind of have a whole new thing to get used to. Phone features camera upgrades. It does replace the Touch ID. Fingerprint won't do it anymore with now Face ID. But again, no home button on these iPhones. That'll take some getting used to for many. And emojis, another must-have feature on the new device. Across the country, thousands have lined up. In fact, they started out before the sun came up for Apple's 10th anniversary iPhone. They were sleeping on the sidewalks and making all kinds of sacrifices for the new product.
We've been here since 7:45 yesterday morning.
Been minimum wage job, because, you know, college, who needs college right now? Get the iPhone instead.
Well, he's very self-aware. The iPhone 10, a must-have for thieves, however, in San Francisco. Police are looking for at least 300 new iPhones that were stolen from a UPS truck at a city mall yesterday. Luckily, the iPhones, though, come with IMEI serial numbers, so Apple can track them down if people report suspicious sales. With that said, police say it's best to stay away from third-party sellers. Stick with Apple for now.
The countdown to America's Thanksgiving parade is on. Just 20 days now until all of those beautiful, cool floats go rolling down Woodward. And this morning, our Paul Gross was at a big event revealing the newest addition to this year's festivities.
You know that America's Thanksgiving parade is close when we get to the annual Parade Company Pancake Breakfast, and this year's event did not disappoint. Hey, Ed, I think we need more blueberries here. We need a couple more blueberries. Chocolate too? All right, let's get some chocolate here.
The event brought together movers and shakers from all across Metro Detroit. But Parade Company President and CEO Tony Michaels says that this was not a fundraising event, but rather a way to say thanks.
It's a way to bring the city together, business and civic leaders who support the parade, love the parade.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan sponsored today's breakfast, which gave them the perfect opportunity to unveil their new float.
3, 2, 1.
The massive 100-foot-long float is called A Confident Life and features 5 10-foot-tall characters participating in healthy and productive lifestyle activities. And for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan's president and CEO Dan Lepp, his involvement is personal.
It's been a part of my life my entire life, and so to be part of it, to keep it rolling, to work with all these great corporate sponsors, Art Van, Ford Motor, all the people that have been involved here is great for our community.
America's Thanksgiving parade is now less than 3 weeks away. It's a little early to speculate about the weather might be, but what we can say for sure is no matter what the weather, the only place you can watch it live from start to finish is right here on Local 4. At the Parade Company, I'm Paul Gross, Local 4.
And around here, we like to say it's always warm, no matter how cold it is.
It is always
warm because of the great feeling that everybody has.
Can you believe it's just like 3 weeks away?
I know, just about here. Incredible. Thanksgiving comes early this month. That's this year, rather. Much more ahead here at 5:30. Frank?
New local cases of hepatitis A and the flu is picking up too. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, see which illnesses are hitting hard near you.
All right, but first, a big heads up. If you're hitting the roads this weekend, we'll tell you where you'll want to avoid the orange barrels in just a minute.
And let's go ahead and take a look at this week's Game of the Week. Macomb, Dakota will visit Chippewa Valley to battle for the district championship.
A rematch from last month when the Big Reds beat the Cougars 37-7. Game tonight, what else? 7 in Clinton Township.
New at 6.
We're about to gain an hour of sleep, but the fallback can have a negative effect too, one that affects women much harder than men. What to look out for? New at 6 in Good Health.
We dive into the proposed tax code change right here in Pontiac, where a local charity says it could plow him under.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. We want to let you know about some construction that's starting tonight that is just something to watch out for. Over on northbound I-75, right at Goddard, only one lane open there. This starts up at 9 p.m., wrapping up construction tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. And then also keep in mind the north and southbound side of I-75, the ramps from Lapeer Road will be closed tonight starting at 9 p.m. Ramps will reopen Monday morning at 5 a.m. Now let's talk about some construction over on the southbound lanes of Southfield Freeway between Grand River and I-96. Expect one lane block there starting at 10 o'clock tonight. This construction will end 5 a.m. on Monday morning. And then the northbound lanes of Northwestern Highway, the ramp to westbound I-696 will be closed starting tonight at 9 o'clock, wrapping up tomorrow at 5 a.m. Have a great weekend, everyone.
All right, Kim, now to Good Health. New cases of hepatitis A and the flu is picking up in some spots too.
Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with a closer look at what's going around near you.
Local doctors are seeing increases in lots of different illnesses, but two of the most concerning are certainly those hepatitis A cases and the steady rise in influenza. Here's what's going around where you live.
In Wayne County, Dr. Sean Jayakar reports confirmed cases of hepatitis A. Garden City Hospital is treating influenza, and Beaumont Grosse Pointe is seeing kids with croup and a significant increase in asthma and other chronic breathing problems. Upper respiratory infections and bronchitis are both on the rise at the CVS Minute Clinic in Wyandotte. Over at Oakland County, where Providence Hospital reports 2 cases of hepatitis A and several cases of confirmed influenza. At Henry Ford in Commerce, doctors are treating strep throat and hand, foot, and mouth disease. The Clarkson Medical Group is seeing some mono and says ear infections are picking up. West to Washtenaw County, where health officials are tracking sporadic cases of influenza A. Pediatricians at U of M report viral sore throats and colds galore, as well as lots of upper respiratory infections in adults. Checking out Monroe County, the ER at ProMedica Monroe Regional is seeing children with upper respiratory infections, sports injuries, and gastrointestinal illnesses. Doctors are also treating some elderly patients suffering breathing problems from the cold. Finally, in Macomb County, Dr. Brianne Wagoner at McLaren Macomb reports confirmed cases of flu and an increase in bronchitis. Henry Ford Sterling Heights is treating asthma, allergies, and upper respiratory infections. Beaumont Dr. Parag Patel is seeing mono, and the CVS Minute Clinics report an increase in strep throat.
So if you haven't gotten your flu shot yet, don't delay any longer. Experts say at least so far it seems to be a good match for the strains of influenza that are circulating right now. Back to you.